All right, so we are back. Gonna talk all things top four. It's been a couple of weeks since we've done one. Join me to try and predict this mental season and to try and predict who's gonna get in the top four is Mathew and also AJ, who will be absolutely flying high with how West Ham are doing, mate. You'll be absolutely buzzing. Definitely the opposite for us, but thanks for coming on and joining us again, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries. No worries.
So I think what we'll do is we'll just go through the teams. We'll do the fixtures. We'll try and predict how many points each team's going to get, as easy as hard as that'll be. And then at the end, we'll kind of round it up and see what we've got for the top four. But the teams I have picked are Liverpool, West Ham, Spurs, Chelsea, and Leicester. I've not put Man United in because, unfortunately, I think they've sealed second and are probably, hopefully, looking at Man City thinking, if they bottle this and we can pick up a few points, there's an outside hope of getting a title. I don't see it happening, but that's why I've not put them in. And then also I've not put Everton in because I just think they look absolutely shite right now. No offense to
Everton fans. Missing so many players, aren't they? And they're just not playing well at all.
Nah, I don't. I just can't see Everton pipping any of these teams to it. And then Villa's the next team, and they're kind of fading out. So apologies, Everton and Villa fans, and I guess congrats to Man U fans for not being in the race for the top four, which pains me to say it, but it is what it is. So I want to start with Liverpool because I've got a lot to get off my chest about Liverpool. And obviously last night is just another absolute disaster. But Mathew, Liverpool have got the remaining 7 fixtures are Leeds away, Newcastle at home, Man U away, Southampton at home, West Brom away, Burnley away, Palace at home. So, I mean, what do you think? Because there's some tricky games in there. I'm not looking to that final 3 personally, but what do you think, first of all?
Mate, I've got no idea because you've got no idea what Liverpool's going to turn up. Like, one week we play all right, and it's like, all right, we might be back and start to kick on, and then we just go absolute shit again. So, I don't know. It's not like it's easy fixture. We've got easy fixtures either. The last 3 are what? West Brom, Palace,
West Brom, Burnley, Palace.
I mean, we typically don't do very well against those teams anyway that seem to just defend against us. And Burnley might not be safe by then. Palace are starting to kind of sneak in there. So, to be honest with you, I've got no idea how we're gonna do. But I do think getting the top 4 is fucking huge for us. With COVID and losing out on money. But can you imagine if we're not in the Champions League though, and everyone comes back and we've got Van Dijk, Gomez back and all that? We're playing in the Europa League,
Thursday night away at some shite Russian
team.
It's
absolutely dreadful to think of. But all the other teams, I kind of got an idea when we speak about them. I give them my thoughts. But to be honest with you, Liverpool, I've got no fucking idea how we're gonna do.
Nah. What do you think about it, AJ, looking from the outside in after the last few weeks since we last spoke? What's your thoughts on it?
For me, it's difficult with Liverpool because the quality in their side, even though they have got injuries, the players that are playing up top are still the players that are playing up top. They're bang out of form though. So what I've seen recently is that their squad aren't playing well as a squad. The 11 that are on the pitch, you've only got 3 or 4 playing well in a game, and the rest of them are either just going through the motions or not playing well. For instance, last night in the Champions League, Mane was absolutely terrible, and that has a massive effect on the whole way the team play. So without him on it, attacks break up, they lose the ball, they give it away all the time, and it's just frustrating to watch. As somebody that just loves watching attacking football teams play, it's been really frustrating watching them, almost to the fact that you have to turn the TV off because they're giving the ball away. The ball's bouncing off their shins. It's going out of play. You've got the fullbacks trying to do absolutely everything because there's no width up top. Robertson and Trent Alexander-Arnold are putting in 20-odd crosses a game and completing 1 or 2. And then there's just the fact that boys are missing chances as well. It's just not, something's not working. Either they're off form, which I think there's a bit of that. But I also think that teams that are playing against them have kind of sussed them out a bit, and they don't have a plan B. I don't know what you think about that, but I feel like they've just got the one game plan now, which is so strange to think with Klopp in charge. and the players that they've got. But it just seems that the ball gets worked through the middle, and they go to their fullbacks, they get crossed in, and then nothing comes of it. You can't expect them to put in amazing crosses every single time, but that's the reality of it. They're just not clicking anywhere across the pitch.
My concern is, and this is not an excuse, but like this I've been thinking about this a lot, right? In this season, basically, which has been an absolute shambles. And if I'm honest, I just want it to be over and done with. Like, I just want it to be done, and I want to forget it ever happened, and pray to God that we get in the top four, which I'll get onto in a second. But like, I think that Klopp, like, if you look at all the players that we've had, right? Andy Robertson bought from Hull. I mean, no one thought he was going to be what he was in the team. Trent's come on leaps and bounds. Jordan Henderson got slated for years and years and years, not just by other fans, but by Liverpool fans. When we signed Gini Wijnaldum, I was like, what the hell is this? And he's gone on to be some absolute incredible player. Even Salah, Firmino, Mane, like when you had those three up front, they were not what they have been in the last couple of years. And I just think Klopp, like, you've seen him do it at Dortmund too. Like, he gets these guys that maybe aren't, well-known or superstars, and he turns them into superstars. But I think the big thing with Liverpool, what he does is, which is actually concerns me a little bit, is that if Liverpool have one or two players out of place and the plan isn't working, it kind of falls to pieces, which is really concerning. Whereas I think you look at a lot of other teams and they have a little bit more, I guess, depth off the bench and maybe a bit more quality, but they just seem to be able to change it. Whereas Liverpool look like they rely so much on that 11 and the guys that do the job, and no player is the same. Like, there's not another Jordan Henderson, there's not another Gini Wijnaldum, and when they all play together, it seems to work. And my concern this season is, it's like I said, it's fallen away a little bit without a couple of integral parts in the team, which I guess could happen to any team, but to the level it's dropped off is frightening. Sadio Mane, I said he was the best left winger in the world last season, has gone from that to literally a player I can't recognize on the pitch. Roberto Firmino has never been one to score goals, so I'm not really too fussed about that with him, but what he brought before was assists and just starting attacks. And Mathew, there was a couple of moments last night we're watching the game where the weight of his passing is absolutely shocking. He can't get the weight of the pass right. It's either too soft or it's too hard, and he's normally so perfect to that. I mean, I don't know. I genuinely, if I'm being completely honest on here, I don't think Liverpool get in the top four. I think that team last night looked deflated. They look like there's no belief. They look like how the fans feel. I think they want the season to be over. Now, they had chances to win the game last night, and they could have gone on to win it. And if you get to the semi-final of the Champions League, you never know. But I think the team looks like the fans, Mathew. And I think they just look like they're like, just, can we get this done? Can we get everyone back and regroup and go again? But the issue is you might not be playing in the Champions League next season.
Yeah, I think, like, everyone's confidence is just gone. Like, when you watch players, or yourself when you play and you've got no confidence, you know what it's like. You literally, like, sometimes you go control a ball and you're like, whoa, what the fuck? Like, no one has, like, not one single player has confidence. Like, it's totally, every single player has no confidence. But I think, like, when we're looking at the race for the top four, I think form has to come into the equation. And, like, we're not in form whatsoever. And you look at West Ham, who are in form, and if they can ride that, and if they can ride that momentum, then I'm kind of with you on it, Josh. Like, I don't think we'll make the top four, and I think it's huge. I think that's huge, by the way. Like, getting into the top four for us is huge.
What do you think that, like, this is for you as well, AJ? Like, what do you think that does? Because for your big players, right? For your Salah, I mean, Van Dijk's missed this season, but let's just use Salah as an example, right? Or he's scored, he's still top goal scorer in the Prem, I think, this season, right? And it is incredible, could go to anyone. Like, does that put a concern on him maybe knocking on the door and saying, look, like, been a great time, won a league title, won a Champions League, but, like, I want to be playing at the highest level and I don't want to be out of it for a year? I mean, you can talk about loyalty and everything, but I mean, you know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah, I think for top class players like these guys, they want to be playing in the Champions League. That's an absolute must. So it's going to cause a lot of unrest if we don't get in the Champions League, in the top four, sorry. Salah especially, he's the type of player I think I see him as somebody who would want to leave, which would ultimately destroy the squad. But I think one of the big things with Liverpool as well, which I agree, I don't think they'll get in the top four, which is mad to think, but the big missing piece at the moment is no leaders in the team.
Nah, none.
Because you've got Van Dijk and Henderson there too. Henderson talks the whole team through the game. I don't know if you've seen any of the lockdown sort of camera angles and that, and you can see the videos of Henderson literally talking every single player on the pitch through the game. They don't have anyone doing that. Van Dijk's presence at the back as a leader is key as well, but that's obvious to see. But the fact that they've not had those two leaders for a good part of the season means there's nobody pushing them forward in the middle of a game to go on and win a game, or to go on and comfortably win a game. So that's why I think they're struggling. And without those leaders, I think the next few games, I just can't see them getting in the top four, which is crazy. But
do you think this is more so for you, AJ, because obviously you're not a fan, right? And I don't want to come at this from an excuse angle, because I'm not one for excuses, right? Like, you play your games, you win or lose, the result at the end of the day, for the most part, is what you get, right? The odd time you don't deserve it. But
yeah,
there is something about Liverpool, Anfield, and add into the equation Klopp, who I think builds his teams off of the stadium and the fans and everything around it. And I know everyone's missing them, right? I know West Ham would love to have their fans. Man United would love to have their fans. And anywhere's a tough place to go. But I genuinely think a big what's the word? One of Klopp's biggest strengths is that he utilizes that. And it seems to push his teams to a completely another level with the players. And I think he buys players to suit that too. Like, I think he gets players in that like thrive off of that. And it just looks like they're really missing that. And again, I don't mean that as an excuse, but I don't know what you think about that.
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying. They are a massive part of the game. And especially Anfield. Anfield's known for its atmosphere. So the fans do take players to another level. Like, that's an absolute fact. It's worked in wonders for some teams with them not being there in the same sense. So I think for West Ham, if I'm brutally honest, not having fans in the stadium has helped them play and helped them express themselves, because there's no pressure from the fans. You remember when the fans were all trying to get into the boardroom and stuff a couple of seasons ago, and imagine how that would unsettle you. So the fans, for a lot of teams, good or bad, has had a massive effect. For Liverpool, I 100% agree that if that Anfield was full and rocking every week, there's no way they would have lost 6 games in a row after Christmas. That's a fact. There's no way they would have, because the fans pushed them on to, like you said, to another level. So yeah, I can understand why you're saying it, but at the same time, everyone's in the same situation. So
yeah,
it's a weird one.
You've got to deal with it and get on with it, man. Like, I agree, and everyone's in the same boat. So it is what it is. But I just think that's a little special thing that Liverpool are missing. But you talked about crosses last night, by the way. Liverpool put 47 crosses into the box, 47 crosses into the box last night. Didn't score a goal.
47?
Yeah. 47 crosses into the box. I mean, I did ask Greggy to come on here, and he's straight up refusing because Liverpool are that bad, genuinely. So we've not had Greg's refusing. When Liverpool start getting all right again, I think he'll be back on. But it's bad when Greg's patching off games and ditching the podcast.
It was frustrating for me watching that last night and seeing all those crosses get intercepted or go over the bar and go out of place. I can't even imagine what it'd be like for you Liverpool fans.
Matthew's hating watching the games with me right now because I just moan about that stuff the whole way through it, and he says I just moan too much, but it's fucking annoying.
Yeah, I can imagine. It was annoying me watching it. See, when Jota came on and I think there was about 3 crosses in a row that he put over the bar, and it's just like, come on,
mate. There was like, by the way, like last night, like Nat Phillips was playing some great balls out from the back through the middle. Like Kabak, by the way, I I don't think we can sign him. Like, I know I'm in my head, I have Van Dijk there. So I know like what I'm looking for, and I know it's impossible. But I'm watching the kid, man. I know he's only 20, he's a big lad, but he's slow. Like, he's good if he's tight to someone. He can win the ball with them, but he's really slow and he's really nervous on the ball. I mean, Mathew, the amount of times he just put the ball out last night, and Klopp's like clapping to him like to try and keep his confidence up. I mean, it was poor.
Yeah, he I don't. It's quite difficult because he's only 20, right? And it's like, but like, he's got the hardest job in the world right now to come into that Liverpool team, basically play on the same side that Van Dijk's playing, and basically come into a team that is just totally deflated and the confidence is gone. Like, it is quite, I think it is really difficult for him to look amazing. Like, even with the Thiago signing, right? Like, I don't know if I like agree with folk when folk are like, "Oh, Thiago doesn't suit Liverpool, doesn't suit the style of player that." Like, I don't know if I'm too convinced on that. But there's no way you're telling me that like Thiago's like a bad player and he can't do it or that. Like, I just think Thiago is a world class player and he's come into a squad that's just so low on confidence and so deflated that it's so difficult to try and like take that and use it. And I just think it's like, it's the hardest job in the world. I think what Kabak's trying to do, and even Thiago coming in, I think it's really difficult coming into a team that's just absolute shattered, man.
Do you not think as well that, like, my opinion on Thiago is he was bought with the view that we would have our fully fit team, all that stuff, with the view that we'd probably have the ball all the time, like genuinely have the ball all the time, which we do, but we're so open and there's no protection. Like, I'm amazed, AJ, I'm amazed at how slow he is. He can't run.
Thiago. Yeah. Thiago. Sorry, my connection went out, so I missed about 5 seconds.
Sorry. No, I was just saying, like, I think Thiago was bought to, like, with the view that we'd have the full team, we'd have a lot of the ball. Yeah. Like, he'd want to keep it, but we're kind of getting done. There's a lot of space and we don't have the ball, and he can't keep up, man. He's so slow.
Yeah, the tempo of play in the Premier League is, I'm convinced, is quicker than any other league in the world. You can see his quality when he's on the ball, is the way he moves with the ball, the way he passes the ball, the way he's always checking shoulder, he's always looking at the next pass before he's played it. He's clearly up there. He's clearly one of the best midfielders in the world on the ball. I think he struggled with the tempo of the game, though. You can see that in his defensive work, because he's fouling 5, 6, 7 times a game. And yeah, I know he likes to bite into tackling stuff, but he's missed time in his tackles. And I think that's to do with the tempo of the game, and that's where it looked like he's maybe a bit slow to react, or if he's, I just think he struggled to keep up with the tempo, which is understandable, because the Premier League, people don't understand. I think these foreign players don't expect the quality of the local players to be so high, and the sharpness of the teams lower in the league to be so high, because it is the competitiveness of that league is crazy in more or less every game, apart from Sheffield United this year. But that's it.
What's AJ? What's your thoughts on the whole Trent thing? Like, what's your thoughts on the whole Trent situation?
I was watching Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher go at it. I don't know if you watched that.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Sunday, or maybe Monday Night Football or whatever. And Gary Neville was, I'm 100% agree with what Gary Neville was saying. For England anyway, sorry. The Euros are won and lost in moments, and knockout games especially, it's a moment that can win them the game. So if he's up against world-class left wingers or right wingers that are playing on the left, and he's not strong enough defensively for me to be able to cope with that, and that's where those moments will happen for them, where they will get knocked out of the tournament because of something like that. And I'm not saying he's more than got enough quality going forward to be in that team and be in that squad, but for me, I think he would get targeted in the Euros, especially knockout phases against your top players. And I would have Walker, James, and the other one.
I'm not.
I'd have him as in fourth.
I'm not trying. I 100% agreed actually with what Neville said too. Like I thought he was spot on, but I get it. I do get it. But man, I've seen Trent play Mbappe. I've seen Trent play Neymar. I've seen Trent play against Cristiano Ronaldo in the Champions League final. Like, and I don't in any of those games remember him constantly getting torn a new one. Now I get Neville's point. It's going to be different in the England team than it was Liverpool. But Matthew, we talk about this all the time. Like, I agree, out of all of those right backs, he's probably the worst defensively, but he's not so bad that you couldn't rely on him. I think that if England don't take him, it's an absolute joke on their part because quality-wise, talent-wise, he's absolutely insane. I'm not just saying this. Take the Liverpool connection out of it. Like, just in terms of his football quality as a football player, if you don't take him, I just think it's ridiculous that you don't take him.
Yeah.
That could be a whole nother podcast. That
Yeah, that definitely, you're right. That definitely could be. Well, look, we could spend hours on Liverpool here, but let's try and do our best to take a guess. There's 21 points up for grabs. I'll repeat who they have again. They play Leeds away, Newcastle at home, United away, Southampton home, West Brom away, Burnley away, Palace at home. What do we think is a group? Roughly, if we can agree on a number that we think they'll get from that.
there's 21 points up for grabs.
21 points.
And we're saying I don't think they're getting top four. So
it's difficult because you look at 6 of those games and you think it's 3 points, but I think Leeds on Monday night they'll struggle.
yeah,
I think they'll beat Newcastle. I think they'll struggle away at United. Palace, Southampton, I think they'll win.
Yeah, I think they beat Leeds. I think they beat Newcastle. I think they get beat by United. Can't believe I've just said that. I think they beat Southampton, who are shite. I think actually they lose to West Brom. Then maybe beat Burnley and Palace. So that would be a total of 15. I don't know. That's a lot though out of 21. That's pretty good.
I was going to go around like 12 to 14 or something.
I'd be happy with that.
I've got 12 here, but I don't know if that's me being a bit harsh.
Maybe 14. 14. That's 3 wins and 2 draws.
Yeah. I think they 100% beat Palace, Southampton and Newcastle. They're guarantees, I would say. I think they lose to United, and then it's the West Brom, Burnley and Leeds. It's those 3 which I think are tricky for them.
Yeah. I agree. So are we happy to go with 14?
Yeah, I'm cool.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll go with 14 and we'll leave Liverpool to that, and hopefully I don't have to talk about them again until next season, because that would be great, because it's been absolutely horrendous. We'll move straight into the hammers then, AJ. We'll move right on to them. We'll get the two big teams out of the way. So you play Newcastle away, Chelsea at home, Burnley away, Everton at home, Brighton away, West Brom away, Southampton at home. That is a very favourable fixture list, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's looking good, isn't it? It's been unbelievable this year. Like, I didn't know when I came on the first time. I wasn't expecting to be able to come on this close to the end of the season and say we were still in it. It was obviously, when I said it, it was a dream to even be in the top 4, and I was considering finishing 8th, being a good season. And we've just kicked on and gone from strength to strength. I think last time I was on, it was Jesse Lingard's first game, and I was sceptical still, but he'd scored 2 in his debut, and I was like, oh, I hate the guy, but he's come on and scored 2 goals. He's completely changed the attacking play
massively,
and he's been an absolute revelation, like unbelievable. I was obviously in love with Souček, and I still am. He's still been amazing, but it's almost like we've got 3 or 4 players on that same level as Souček now as well. I think Lingard's obviously been unbelievable. I've never seen a footballer move like he does this season. It's been unbelievable.
What's going on there, mate? What the fuck is going on there? He's turned into Lionel Messi.
I have no idea.
What's going on?
I remember over the lockdown period when football was off, and he was keeping so fit, and he was doing all these online nippy workouts that all the Z-listers were doing and that. But he was doing that, and he looked in good shape and stuff. And then he's obviously just worked his arse off, and on the football grounds and away from the training grounds as well. And he's coming to us, bags of confidence, and just put on an absolute show. And he's unbelievable. Like the pace he's got right now, I've never associated him with being able to run 70 yards with the ball and be composed to finish it off as easily as he has done. It's crazy. We've got Soufal at right back's been the same. He's been unbelievable as well. And there's just like all the players that have been brought in have just carried on their form, and they've all been absolutely unbelievable.
Sorry, I heard I seen a press conference that Solskjaer had done, and they were obviously talking about it, and he said something that really struck me. He was like, yeah, like during the period that Lingard wasn't playing, supposedly Solskjaer was like, he never once gave me hassle. Supposedly every day he fucking worked his arse off. And to be fair, like, see, if you've kind of like been binned from a squad like that and to go and do that, it's quite difficult. You know what I mean? Like, so I think that like his attitude sounds unreal. He's a good footballer, you know what I mean? Like it wasn't like he suddenly turned into a bad player. I don't really believe you go from like being a really good player to then suddenly just shit, you know what I mean? And just by the sounds of it, his attitude sounds absolutely ridiculous. I think like West Ham's a perfect fit. Like I feel like I think he loves being around Declan Rice and Noble and all these guys and shit. Like I just feel like he's got a good old connection. He's obviously got something to prove as well. Got a chip on his shoulder, so I think fair play to him, Mike, honestly.
He's meant to be a proper United fan, like die-hard Man U fan. Like absolutely loves it to death. Like
really
growing up there. But he's
that's why it would have hurt so much. Yeah, that's why it would have hurt him so much. But.
Do you think? I mean, this is everyone's doing this, but what do you think happens then? Like, is this a case of like I've seen them? Sure, you guys, we've all seen this loads. Like players like shite gets ousted out of squad, goes on loan somewhere, does class, either gets bought by that team or gets a new deal at his other club and then goes right back down again to be in. Everyone's like, oh shit, like what the hell happened there? Like, what are you wanting to get him? Are you a bit wary of that or what?
No, I've seen enough to want to sign him on a permanent basis for sure. It was the same with Souček. It was the same with Benrahma. We've brought him in on loan on a trial basis, essentially. Moyes probably wasn't expecting this much out of him. He probably wanted him to fill the gaps because we didn't really need him because we had Benrahma come in, we had Bowen, and all the players that we had in that attacking area. We didn't need Lingard, but he's come in and been unbelievable. So yeah, I think he's done enough to get a deal, and I would hope that he would want to come and not go back to United and waste away, because I can't see him going back and playing. Solskjaer doesn't seem the type. You can obviously see that he's been unbelievable, but does he think? I just can't see Lingard going back to United and playing a part.
Nah, he doesn't get in that squad, man. Not in that position either.
No, because you've got exactly.
Not with Bruno and Pogba and that, but mate, you mentioned Soufal. Like Grant's had him in his fantasy team for the last 4 weeks, and Grant's catching me because Soufal keeps fucking scoring and getting assists, and I'm like, what is going on? Where did you get him from?
Oh, it's from the Czech league, I think. Souček's pal. He is obviously known to be a good one-on-one defender, and he proved that over the first half of the season by his defensive performances. He's an absolute rock to get past. Like, I've not seen many attackers get past him one-on-one situation at all this season. So he's got that. He's hard as nails as well. You can just tell.
Yeah.
And now going forward as well, he's producing going forward. He's making 50, 60, 70 yard bursts with the ball, or he's playing the ball inside and carrying on his run all the way to the byline. He's putting in crosses and he's getting assists. And it's just unbelievable to see. Like, he's him along with Cresswell on the flanks have been unbelievable. And now we've got Arthur Masuaku back as well. He's played the last 2 games and he's been brilliant as well. It's almost like he's not been injured. Like, he looks sharp as anything. So that's allowed Cresswell to slip back in position as well. And we don't have to play the back four anymore either, because we've got Cresswell and Masuaku. I know Cresswell went off injured on the other day there, but that's how it was shaping up anyway, and it's just been really, really good. It's mad as well that we've not had Declan Rice for the last 2 games, we've not had Antonio for the last 2 games, and it didn't change anything. We've battered teams. As much as we've looked quite ropey at the back in the second half of games as well at the moment. We seem to be starting really, really well, and not just starting well, but scoring goals early as well, and that's massive because, we've let 3 3-0 leads go in the last 3 games, at least up to back to 3-2. But I mean, you score 3 goals, you're confident you can get 3 points no matter what time of the game it is. Arsenal were lucky enough to get a 3rd goal against us, but I mean, if we go into the next 7 games scoring early goals, we win 6 out of 7 then, no bother, I think.
I think so too,
but
man.
It's all about starting well for us. If we play Newcastle on Saturday lunch and they hold us to 0-0 at half time, I think we'll struggle to win the game. But it seems that we're just going all out attack in the first 20 minutes of games, and we've got players like Lingard and Bowen who are really feeling confident in front of goal, and they're finishing more or less every chance they get at the moment.
Do you reckon honestly, do you reckon, how do you handle, let's say you make it, right? Let's say you get 4th, 3rd, whatever. How do you handle that? Because is that squad deep enough to handle the I'm not saying you're going to get relegated to that, right? It's way better than that, but are you deep enough to handle the league and playing in Europe, do you think? Or I mean, I don't know, what's the crack? What's going to happen there?
I don't know. Whenever we've gone into the Europa League, I know it's totally different, but we've struggled. Well, we've not actually got through the qualifying phases of the Europa League, to be fair, so it's totally different. But Champions League and league like that, I think that West Ham squad could still have a West Ham season in a different year and finish at the bottom of the league, like bottom 5 places in the league. That's exact same squad. So I guess the answer to the question related to Champions League is no. It's not good enough to compete in the Champions League, especially, and compete in the league as well. The amount of energy that needs to go into that and the quality in the Champions League it's just a dream if we get Champions League and we get to play 6 group games. And if we qualify, we qualify. But it's just the thought of being able to be in the Champions League is be classed as a big club for a season, like a top sort of one of the best sides in Europe for a season is unbelievable. I think the squad fully deserve it for what they've done up to this point, but it's still nowhere near finished. So that's the worrying thing. You'd look at West Ham and think, yeah, they've not got the experience of getting into the Champions League. So how are they going to close out this season to get there? That's the main worry.
Who the fuck would have thought, after last season, I'd be sat here, Mathew would be sat here, not thinking Liverpool are even going to get in the top 4, and AJ's convinced West Ham are winning 6 out of 7 to make it. It's absolutely insane, man. Absolutely insane.
It's like, what we're talking about though, it's like, do you not think it's amazing how suddenly confidence and form hits a team, and your players like Lingard and Kufau and Declan Rice and all these guys are fucking smashing it, and on the flip side, you've got Trent, Salah, Mane, and they've just gone like this. And they've just crashed. I think it's really fascinating that how a team just suddenly hits form, and the manager must be doing something right because there's complete confidence there. I just think it's I think it's fascinating. Like I said at the start, I generally think it'll be form that'll decide who gets into top 4 or not. And if you look at all the teams, West Ham's form right now is probably one of the best.
You know what the mental thing as well is? Everyone's talking about how good Rice is and what he's going to cost. But, I mean, let's say it finishes City, United, Leicester, West Ham. Is Declan Rice going to leave West Ham to go play for Chelsea, who's been linked with when they're not in the Champions League? You're definitely getting another year out of him if that's the case. And if you make the Champions League, why would he leave? If I was him, I'd do a year. And then after that, see what the crack is, right?
100%. There's no way any member of that squad would want to leave the club if we got in the top 4. It doesn't even matter if you're going to anyone above them in the top, or anyone in the top 4 either. If Chelsea finished 3rd and West Ham finished 4th, Rice doesn't go to Chelsea. Not next season.
even
you
if
play for
you're,
your, especially
even
him.
yes, sorry, even if you're like not in the top four and you maybe just don't make it, I still think everyone at West Ham right now is so fucking happy. Like everyone at training is buzzing. The whole training camp, everything's happy, everything. Like I don't think players leave. Like if they're happy in that, and I don't think they'll go anywhere. I think Declan Rice, even if you don't make top four, I think he seems someone that wouldn't do that. I think he's at least got another year in to see how West Ham do again. And if they're still up there, I reckon he stays again because he seems that kind of guy.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, definitely. He's Mr. West. He's taken over from Mark Noble as Mr. West Ham, but he deserves a move at the same time. So if he wants to go, then fans wouldn't begrudge him. I don't think.
When's he back fit?
He's done. It was a month from. It was about 4 weeks from when he got hurt. So I'm guessing still another 2-3 weeks to go. But
final few games.
It's heartbreaking for him not to be able to be involved in this running, because he's played every minute of every game for the last 2 or 3 seasons. So I was shocked against Wolves without him, how easily we adapted. I've been slating Mark Noble all year, saying that he needs to be done, and we need him in the club and we need him around the squad for the next couple of years, but he's nowhere near good enough to actually play. He stepped in against Wolves and his stats were first and second in the game out of the 22 for meters covered, for passes made, for interceptions made. It was unbelievable. It was like he was back to his old self. I'm not saying no in any way, shape or form that he's the answer, because he's not. He's definitely not, but if he plays the next couple of games well.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it looked like he broke his wrist or something on the other day as well. He went off with his arm like hanging off out his socket. So I don't know what's wrong with him. That's the worrying thing as well. We're picking up injuries. Antonio's just never fit. We expected that, but still, when he doesn't play, it does make a difference. Cresswell looked like he tore his hammy the other day. I haven't actually read or seen what the extent of that is. But if we have Rice, Antonio, Cresswell, and Noble not available for especially the Chelsea game next Saturday, that's big.
That's a spicy game, that, man, for everyone. Like for everyone that's battling that, that's a spicy game. Someone's dropping points there for sure. But if you get any info on Cresswell, let me know, because I've got him in fantasy. So and Granty's closing in on me.
He's been the best fantasy player all year, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Granty's closing in on me, so I need to be clever with my subs I'm making these last few weeks here, because he's getting close to me. But mate, you mentioned, sorry, just to go off topic a little bit, but I thought we should bring up. You mentioned Wolves. How blunt and shite have they been this year?
Yeah, it's hard to. It goes down to the confidence thing, Matthew, you were just saying about as well, because when they had confidence, they were flying. The football they were playing was unbelievable, and they just looked like a team that you wanted to watch. But now they've obviously struggled this season. It's obviously gone downhill massively since Raul Jimenez got injured. He is obviously been an integral part to their team. So they've really struggled without him. They've struggled without another player's been injured as well.
They had that Johnny left back.
Yeah, so they've just been flat. And now Neto's out for the rest of the season as well, and he's been their only bright spot since Jimenez.
Really?
Yeah, so they've just escaped it. I think if this happened a few weeks ago, they'd have struggled to even stay up. But yeah, they've had a poor season for sure.
So what are we thinking for West Ham then, boys? 21 points. I'll go through it again. Newcastle away, Chelsea home, Burnley away, Everton home, Brighton away, West Brom away, Southampton home.
Oof.
I'll tell you now, we get 0 points Brighton away. That we will lose that game. 100%. Brighton always beat us. I think we'll beat Chelsea, if I'm honest, at home.
Southampton are so shit right now.
Southampton are shite.
So shit, mate.
That's what's great. It's our last game of the season. If it goes down to the last day, I'm confident.
I talked up Big Ralphie Hoggenstein. I don't even know how to say his last name on this a few months ago, man, I was loving him. They have been absolutely dreadful. Like, they've been so bad. So bad. By the way, I'll be honest with you, lads. I've given West Ham 16 out of 21 points here.
Have you?
Yeah, I've given them. I only put 0 for Brighton because you said you think they'll get beat there and you know more than me. I would have put 3 down for that. I think you win every game. I think you draw with Chelsea and then you say you're going to get beat by Brighton, so I put 0. I'm giving West Ham 16 points. They're fucking in, mate. They're going to finish fucking third.
I'm cool with that. I think I do think that they're forming that. I think I said at one of the start of these podcasts that, like, not that it's like crazy freakishly, but I said like something weird is going to happen this season, and I think West Ham getting in the top 4 is going to be it. Like, with the whole COVID situation, no fans in that, and the league starting late, I said I think something would start strange, something would weird would happen, and I'm going to go. It's going to be West Ham getting in the top 4. So, 16. I think 16 does it.
What do you think, AJ?
Yeah, 16. I'm happy with 16. I've got 15 down here, but 16 works for me. Like, I think the important thing is West Ham can lose a game now and bounce back the next game. They used to be able to. Yeah. They used to lose and then lose 2 or 3 in a row, but this season they seem to be able to lose and bounce back. So, yeah, 16. I'm good with it. If they got 16 points, I'll be over the moon.
That 100% gets you in, mate. I genuinely think that could get you third. And I'm looking at that fixture list thinking, bar Chelsea. Honestly, bar Chelsea, I don't see you losing, but you never know. So 16, fucking West Ham are finishing fucking second or something, man. Mental.
Saturday against Newcastle at lunchtime is huge. Get 3 points on the board and we're fucking looking lovely. Newcastle away has always been a tough one as well. I've been to Newcastle away 3 times in my life, and they've never won in the 3 live games that I've watched at St James's against West Ham. 2-2, and I think 3-0 loss was the 3 results I've seen. I think
Go on, man.
Sorry, mate. I think when it comes down to these as well, when we look at the teams as well, like, you do need to look at the teams that are in a relegation battle, because how many times a team in a relegation battle pull off a peak performance against like a top 6 and they end up getting points and it keeps them up. But I surely West Ham are too good for Newcastle at the moment.
Yeah.
I've got a West Brom dream to in my brain that they're gonna stay up, but that's just ridiculous. But I just feel like they might stay up.
I got a feeling the big striker might do something. Like, I got a feeling the big striker might pull them out or something. I don't know why.
Yeah, they've scored 8 goals the last 2 games and they're looking unbelievable. But yeah. Again, they're on Twitter. That's a different conversation.
Be careful what you're saying here. I've said some shocking things when you got fucking slated for it. Like,
it's all part of putting yourself out there, mate. Is chatting about the football. But West Ham 16 points. Agreed on. Right, we'll move on to the best of the rest. We'll fire through the next few. We'll go with Spurs. They've got Everton away, Southampton at home, Sheffield United at home, Leeds away, Wolves at home, Villa at home, Leicester away. They also do have that League Cup final against Man City, which surely has to be Mourinho's only saving grace to win that. If they obviously don't get into the Champions League. I've got one good pal who's a Spurs fan, Rob, and I was chatting to him on the phone the other night. And even if he said to me, even if they win the League Cup, it doesn't really want Mourinho to stay. Like, I mean, I don't know. Like, it's Jose lost it. We did a podcast ages ago where we called it Magic Mourinho because they were looking like they were doing decent. Is Jose gone? Has he lost it?
I think shit explodes at Tottenham, man. I think it's close to exploding. I used to be such a Mourinho fan, right? I don't understand him calling out his players and like the interviews after and the press conferences and that. Like, I don't get it. Like, I don't think that these days that's how you gain respect from the players and that. Like, what other managers do that? Like, he literally names drop people and says their shit. Like, that's what he literally does. And I think it explodes at Tottenham. I think the Bale situation has not helped them whatsoever, and I think it explodes and they did not get in the top 4.
What speaking of Mourinho calling out his players, mind what he said about Luke Shaw? He said it was his body playing with my brain when he was at Man United. After a press conference.
It was funny actually. Luke Shaw was reluctant to shake his hand the other day there. I don't know if you've seen it at the end.
Really?
Yeah, man, yeah. Fucking yeah, mate.
He's
Yeah,
just gonna
absolutely.
slip past him.
I bet you all those players hate him, man. Like he was a disaster at Man United. He was doing what he's doing at Spurs now. Like he's calling a lot of guys out. He did used to do that with Chelsea, but I mean that was fucking almost 20 years ago. That was 15 years ago. It's a different world now. I've seen a few things flying around on Twitter with this quote. I don't know if it's real or not, but he said that like Lampard and Terry at 23, 24 were men. And he said nowadays players are still boys when they're that age.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
Believable.
Yeah.
I don't know, but so is he gone? Is Mourinho a lot like what? Where does Jose? Let's say they don't win the League Cup final. Let's say they finish outside the top four. Big high chance Harry Kane may decide to go if he wants to go and add trophies, which I think Spurs fans should and will probably say fair play, mate. Like thanks for everything you've done. We get it, but from Mourinho's point of view, like where does Mourinho go?
I don't know. It's a weird conversation to have. Like he seems to just absolutely ruin teams now. And I don't know if what his management style is like, but he seems to just turn these top class players into boring players. Boring players who just I don't know. It's just so hard to put your finger on because some games the Spurs will go and score 5-6 goals and they'll look like scoring every time they go forward and they'll attack. But then for the next 3 games after that, they'll just defend and do absolutely nothing. And it's down to the coach in this scenario because he's done it. It's happened to other clubs now as well. You can blame the players for losing the dressing room or whatever, for not backing the manager or whatever, and then the manager losing the dressing room. But I think in this case, it's something to do with the manager.
You're spot on what you said about like the attacking players. Again, I was speaking to my mate Rob, and even against United, man, he was like I've just written it down here. He started Aurier at right back, attacking right back massively. He's literally a right winger, right? Reguilon is a left back, literally a left winger. Then he's played obviously Son, Kane, Mora. He even played Lo Celso in the middle. Like he didn't even go Højbjerg and Sissoko. He went attacking, but at no point did they ever look like they were trying to attack. Like I genuinely don't know. Like his team selection doesn't mirror what's on the pitch. It's weird. It's really weird.
Yeah, I just think that this could be a whole other podcast as well. But I just think the way that football's evolved, I think Mourinho hasn't really evolved with it, and I think he's really struggled with it. I just think the evolution of football, the way it's gone with like possession style and kind of like full front, like attacking type style football, I think like just don't really think he's evolved with it.
But you say that though, but you look at I'm just using this as an example. You look at Simeone at Atletico. I mean, they don't play attacking football, but yet they still do very well in the Champions League. They compete somewhat in the Liga. Like, I know it's a different league, but and I know there's not many more. I can't think off the top of my head, but there's a top coach with a top team that plays that way and almost Mourinho-esque, like, and still wins trophies. So I honestly don't get it. Arsenal have scored against Slavia Prague, by the way. It's 1-0. So 2-1 in aggregate. So I don't know what. I don't know. I don't even know what to say. I'm just rambling now. Like,
do you think they get in the top 4?
No.
Spurs are an absolute certain no for me. I just can't see them winning many games.
No, I can't.
Fucking hate Spurs, but nah, I don't know. I watched them the other day. There, like you said, Josh, terrible. We weren't looking to attack. It was almost like they weren't looking to win the game. So
yeah, I don't see them hitting form. I don't see them hitting any form or like anything. Like, you know what I mean? Like Kane might get them a few goals in that, but like I just don't see them hitting form like West Ham or with everyone with confidence. Like everyone in Tottenham right now, their confidence is short. So I just don't see it happening for them.
Nah, I can't. I agree with you, AJ, mate. On this list, to be honest with you, like I know I said no about Liverpool, but if Liverpool can hit form, there's chance. But on the list of these, they're the only team where I'm like, definitely not. Like, absolutely not. I don't see it happening.
Which is weird because their squad's unbelievable and their attacking talent's unbelievable. But well, they've got arguably the best striker in the world,
yeah, 100%.
And Son's one of the best wingers in the world. They've got Bale. Bale was played for 4 weeks, unbelievably, and then all of a sudden he decided he didn't want to play again or whatever's happened there. They've got enough to be to fill that top 4, 100%. But they're not. But they are not going to do it.
Before we do the points for them, like let's do a world. Let's pretend we're in a world where Harry Kane goes. Let's say they get 100 for him, right? 100 mil, COVID and all that. Where the Spurs are in a bit of trouble there because that's an irreplaceable player, completely irreplaceable. Doesn't matter how much money you have, and you're not gonna they can't just attract Haaland or you know what I mean. They're not gonna lose Kane and buy someone like that and then it's all right. I don't know. I'm not saying Spurs are gonna be in big trouble, but I think they've got a long time ahead of them before they're back up there again, competing in the top 4 if Harry Kane goes.
Yeah. Kane going is an absolute disaster for them. There's no way they can let him go. But I think other players would leave as well. I think there would be a knock-on effect. I can't see Son wanting to stay if Kane goes.
Yeah.
And there's other players as well. I think if Mourinho goes, players I know, like you said, Sergio Aurier. If Mourinho goes, Sergio Aurier goes. He doesn't play in another manager's team. Reguilon's on loan, I think, isn't he? So he goes. They're going to be left if Kane goes and a couple of others go. They're struggling. And like you said, I don't think they can attract a world-class player in, especially if they're not playing in any sort of European competition. Because they'll get Europa League, but who wants to play in Europa League? And as if you're a top player, no one really.
No one. What do we think they get then? I'll repeat it again, just so we know. Everton away, Southampton at home, Sheffield United at home, Leeds away, Wolves at home, Villa at home, Leicester away. It's actually not a shocking run, bar maybe Leeds, Villa, Leicester. But I don't know. What do you think?
Maybe. Do they get similar to Liverpool or no? Is that too sad?
Yeah, I think being harsh is 12. 12 is being a bit harsh.
I've put 10.
I can't see
10
them
or
losing
11.
any of them. 10 or 11.
Yeah, I think they draw with Everton, beat Southampton, beat Sheffield United.
Yeah.
Maybe get beat by Leeds, beat Wolves, draw with Villa, get beat by Leicester. I don't know.
I was trying to keep up with that there. Yeah, I've got draw with Everton, beat Southampton, beat Sheffield, lose to Leeds. Then I've got draw with Wolves, beat Villa, draw with Leicester.
Fair. So we're about the same.
So 11 would maybe be a good shout for them. I don't
11,
know.
I think 11's a good shout. I'm with that.
I've got 12 there, but if we're thinking 10, between 10 and 12, let's go in the middle.
We'll go in the middle. 11 points for Spurs. Sorry, Spurs fans, not looking good for you, but it is what it is.
You know what would be absolutely brilliant about that as well is if Leicester versus Spurs in the last day of the season has absolutely no bearing on who finishes in the top 4.
I know.
It would be unbelievable. The battle for 6th and 7th would be unbelievable there.
There's a high chance that's the case, man.
I know.
Right, last 2 teams. We'll do Chelsea. They relatively favourable fixtures up until the final 3 here. Actually West Ham's not favourable. Sorry. They play Brighton at home, West Ham away, Fulham at home. Then they play City away, Arsenal at home, Leicester at home, Villa away. That's not easy. That is not easy. They've AJ, I don't know if you've listened, but we had my mate Liam on, who's a Chelsea fan a few weeks ago, and we chatted about them, and we were just saying, man, how well Tuchel has done to improve the team, almost immediately. It's not even doesn't even look like it's a new manager bounce. He's clearly just gone in and improved them. It's been insane, man. They look good. Yeah,
they look really good. There's a lot of positives from it. They're conceding hardly any goals. Obviously minus the West Brom blip. they're looking really, really solid from the keeper up. Well, the keeper's a bit dodgy, but you know what I mean. They've got like a solid defence, and then they're looking like they're not. They're shutting up shop quite easily. The only concern for me going forward, and especially against these teams here, is the lack of goals. I don't think they're scoring enough, and I don't think they've got enough goals coming from the right areas of the park.
I agree with you on that.
I can't see them going. I can see them against City. I can see them shutting up shop and maybe not conceding, but I just can't see them scoring. Or even say Leicester, I can see them drawing 0-0. Or I don't know. I just don't know where the goals are coming from. But you say that now, but you've got the boy Havertz is starting to come onto a game, and he's starting to look like the player that they thought they brought in. They've got so much quality in that squad; it's unbelievable. That for me, they should be finishing third. But again, that's a really tough run. And looking at that, I didn't know it was that tough. That's really promising looking for us West Ham fans. But their squad is up there, well up there with the top three in the league, I would say. Maybe even second best squad in the league. They've
also got to balance out. I mean, they're in the semi-final now. They have to. I mean, clearly they have to go for it, right? So they're a huge chance of. I think Real Madrid a lot better than I thought they were going to be. And actually, I wanted to say this when we're talking about Liverpool. I want to say I thought Modric and Kroos do not give the ball away. Like, I genuinely don't think they give the ball away ever. They're absolutely insane. The Real Madrid performance in the first leg against Liverpool was, I know Liverpool were really bad, but Real Madrid's performance was probably the best performance I've seen a team put together this season. How controlled it was. They were never really in trouble. They had the ball the whole time. I felt like Liverpool never had the ball. They've got so much experience, but I felt like Liverpool didn't get at them as much as they would have or should have. And I think Chelsea can get at them a little bit, and I think they could do a bit of damage to them. So it'll be interesting to see how they balance that Champions League, depending on how it's going with the league, because like we just said there, that's not a lot of easy games. I mean, City, Mathew, might have the league wrapped up by then and might be completely focusing. So, even then, though, if they rotate, their squad's insane. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've just looked at it there. I've actually given them 16 points as well.
Same as West Ham.
I've been quite favourable to them. I think they beat Brighton, draw with West Ham, which we said, beat Fulham. I've put lose to City because I'm just assuming City play a good team. I think they beat Arsenal. I actually think they beat Leicester because I think Leicester in free fall, which we'll get onto next. And then I think they beat Villa.
Yeah, I'd probably go with that.
For me, yeah. There's one other, the important factor with Chelsea is, like you've said, the Champions League, but they're still in the FA Cup. I think. Point. So if they win the Champions League and the FA Cup, they've still won 2 trophies, and that is a highly successful season. So almost like they don't need to finish in the top 4 if they win the Champions League, but obviously they're not going to put all their eggs in that basket. But if they win 2 trophies and don't finish in the top 4, it's still a great season. Abramovich wants trophies. He doesn't care. The thing he cares about most is winning trophies. So if they progress this weekend, I think the FA Cup's this weekend, isn't it?
Yeah, it's either this weekend or next weekend. You're right. Yeah,
I think it's on Sunday, their game. So if they get through that, they've got a cup final to. I don't even know if it's a semi-final now.
No, you're right. You're right. They play City. Yeah, they play City.
Yeah, so they've got that. So if they win that, then they've got the next round of that. They've got 3 potential Champions League games and 7 league games. They've got a potential of 12 games still left to play before the 24th of May or 29th of May or whatever it is. So that's ridiculous. In 6 weeks, that's it's 2 games a week.
That is a lot of games, man. That's definitely making me reconsider my point selection here.
Yeah, so that's what you need to think about as well. And I just feel like Chelsea won trophies. So if they can win 2 trophies rather than win nothing and finish 4th, I think that's what the board will want. They want the trophies. So with that in respect, I still think West Ham will beat them. So I think that's 0. they pump Fulham for me. They pump Brighton. Like I said, I just don't know.
I don't know what City. What do you think, Matthew?
Yeah, I think that definitely has to. To be fair, they do have the squad for it though, mate. Like that squad's ridiculous. Like,
yeah,
that's the only thing is like I know they'll be in 3 competitions or whatever, but if anyone are going to do it, it's probably going to be them just simply because they're squad. But maybe I don't know, maybe like 14, 15,
15 I would say.
15. Yeah. I'm cool with 15.
I'm happy with 15 for the Chelsea, man. I think. I mean, we'll see what these points add up to at the end, but yeah, I think they get in. I think they're one of the 2 that get in. Actually, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think. By the way, I think Chelsea challenge for the league next year. By the way, I know we're about to go off them, but I think they challenge for the league next year. I actually think Havertz will come really good. I think Kante will just fucking be like the old Kante. I think he'll get a new life to him, and I think they'll be really, really good next year.
I think they've got a good chance, man. I think that they've got the squad there. The managers, as much as I wanted Lampard to do well too, but you've seen the difference already. Not to say that Lampard will never be that guy, but I think he definitely can be. He's got the drive to do it. But Tuchel's made just such a huge difference. He got a big squad. They'll be in the race to sign someone like Haaland, man. Like London, they've got the money, all that shit. They'll be able to. They could swing his head if they wanted to, especially if they win the Champions League or whatever this year. Then that's huge. That's dangling the carrot ahead of him. So I agree, Matthew. I think they're a team to watch out for next year at the top of the table. 100%.
Yeah, 100%. That's what the expectations are as well. So
yeah. Tuchel knows that too. Like Tuchel's got next. Let's be honest, he's got next season, and if he doesn't do well, then he'll probably get bombed. So, like he knows
exactly.
that. Yeah, he knows that. If they finish outside the top 4 next year, he's fucking gone. By the way, Arsenal are 3-0 up, and Man United are 1-0 up against Granada. So looks like they're both going through. Right, we'll finish off on Leicester then. They play West Brom at home, Palace at home, Southampton away, Newcastle at home, and then they finish with United away, Chelsea away, Spurs home.
Wow.
Oh, see ya.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it, AJ. They are currently crumbling, and I mean they've done it. They've done this the last couple of years under Brendan Rodgers. I heard that the whole thing when the Madison and who was the 2 others at the weekend that didn't play?
Chowdhury and Perez.
I heard that there was a bit of like I think a bit of a falling out between Rodgers and that. Again, social media rumors, but I heard that they weren't too happy with what went on there. So that's not good. Obviously, that doesn't help when your team, the mood in the camp is probably nerves, right? And you're starting to fall away. What do you think? Do you think they bottle it and they drop out?
I do, yeah. I think it goes City, United, Chelsea, West Ham.
Yeah, same. Leicester are chucking it. The players, apparently it was a house party, COVID breach. That's what I've been hearing.
Yeah.
Which makes it so much worse. But for me, I just, like you said, it seems like they're in free fall. They were so bad against West Ham. It was scary in those first 50, 60 minutes. Vardy's off the boil as well. So,
yeah.
I mean, without him playing well, it's tough for them. Yeah, they've got Iheanacho firing quite well right now, but there's just something missing from them. It's just not. They don't look good. They don't look like a top 4 team right now. They did all the way through until the last sort of month or 2, but I think now watching them, they don't look good enough. And if they don't get top 4, and I was a manager, I would sell Maddison, Chowdhury, and Perez in the summer as well.
Would you?
I would go that far and sell them straight away if they don't finish in the top 4, because that's had a massive bearing on West Ham result and what happens in the next few games. That'll affect the whole camp, the whole squad, morale, everything. It'll kill them. And yeah, if they go on and lose against Brighton, not Brighton, sorry. Who's their first? Who are they playing?
West Brom.
West Brom, sorry. West Brom flying, Leicester. If they lose that, then the confidence is completely gone.
They've it's I mean, to be honest with you, right, I've put this that I'm actually quite surprised. I thought I'd give them quite shit results, but I've got them to draw against West Brom, beat Palace, beat Southampton, draw with Newcastle, get beat by United, get beat by Chelsea, and draw with Spurs. That still gives them 11 points.
Really?
And that's pretty poor. Like, that's shit. That's 2 wins and 3 draws. That still gives them 11 points.
How many?
Wait, am I right there?
The 2 points
That's
ahead.
9.
That's 9 points.
Is it 11?
No, it's 9. It's 9. That's 9 points. I'm not good at maths, people.
Man.
That's why I'm doing a podcast.
I'll go with that. Like, I think.
Sorry, my connection went. I missed all that.
No, it's all good, mate. You were right. It's 9 points.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, you were right, mate. I've completely done myself there. I'm not good at maths. Not good at maths. I'm a football coach and currently trying to be a podcaster. So I think 9 is fair. 9 is fair.
Yeah. Sorry, I've written down all the fixtures and I've not done it. Can you repeat the fixtures one more time?
Yeah. Sorry, mate. No worries. They play West Brom at home, Palace at home, Southampton away, Newcastle at home, United away, Chelsea away, Spurs at home.
We're just going to say Southampton are shite, but are Southampton going to lose? It seems like Southampton's running as all of these teams.
Are they going down?
They're not going to lose every game. They're not going to lose every game, surely.
No, by the way, AJ, Southampton play Liverpool, West Ham, Spurs, and Leicester. Yeah, they play. That's who they play. Fucking hell.
Yeah. So, well,
can they go down?
Leicester are going to win a few more games. Nah, there's. I don't know actually. Maybe.
Right. So I mean, Southampton could be going down, and Leicester are currently struggling here.
I don't want to do them a disservice. I don't want to do them a disservice though, because they are still a quality team, and like,
oh yeah,
they've been They still have ground out a few results recently.
What do you think it is? Like, this is. I mean, it happened to Rodgers at Liverpool. I mean, you know, Gerrard slipped and stuff and all that, and you can say that, but it happened. I know it happened. It's already happened with Leicester at least once, if not twice, right? Or this is the second or third time, I forget. But he always seems to hit this point and just fade away. Like, what do you think it is? I mean, because I have no idea. Like, I don't get it. They look really good, and then all of a sudden they just fade away.
Like, it could just be a coincidence, but I don't know. Maybe is he super demanding on the players, and I don't know. Like, it could be a good few things, but it could just be a coincidence as well. Like, it's tough to do it for that long. I think, like,
I'm gonna do a Roy Keane there and say that's absolute nonsense.
Fuck, I don't know. I don't know. I don't think a lot of folk know. It's a bit of a mystery. That's a lot of shite.
What a shite. Graham Souness Graham Souness wouldn't have any of that either.
No. What was I going to say?
Yeah, they're shite.
Maybe they're burnt out, but nah. Think about the prize they're going for. That's certainly not an excuse anyway. I think what doesn't work in their favour at all is they have to play in the FA Cup this weekend. So if West Ham beat Newcastle, we go into third, and then that psychologically puts Leicester down a position as well as actually putting them down a position. So I think the fact that if West Ham win on Saturday, put Leicester into fourth, and I think that does Leicester puts them in a world of bother.
Yeah,
psychologically.
I agree.
Because I think that is a big thing. If they look at the league table and say, shit, people aren't chasing us anymore. We're being overlapped, and we're almost holding on as tight as we can to that position. That's going to fuck their minds up, essentially.
The final 3 games are tough as well.
Yeah, it's really tough. It's really tough, man. I don't know how they do that. Where do they evolve after like Jamie Vardy and stuff? What do you guys think about that? Because I mean, he's absolutely incredible again, but Leicester aren't really. I mean, again, they're not going to attract like a big name. They're going to have to. I don't know where they go.
Fucking on fire, man.
Yeah, Nacho. Nah, no chance. No chance.
I know they're another team that are going to have to go through a transitional period without certain players. Johnny Evans, I'm surely he's coming to the end of his career soon.
Yeah.
Kasper Schmeichel's 34, 35. So they'll be struggling. Going back to their fixtures now, they need 12 points out of 12.
Yeah.
To mount their challenge, really. In the first 4, they need to beat West Brom, Palace, Saints, and Newcastle. They need to win them 4 games, because then they can maybe get leeway losing United, and then they can push on again against Chelsea and Spurs, who they're battling out with. Well, what you need to remember as well in all these battles are West Ham play Chelsea, Spurs, they're all playing each other at some point. So teams are dropping points. Like Spurs, Leicester on the last game of the season, Chelsea, West Ham next week. They're all playing each other. Like massive, massive games. Man United have chucked in a few times as well, just to make it uneasy for everyone.
Yeah.
Not all these teams are dropping points. That's why you can't predict it, because every one of those teams is gonna drop points at some point. So it's just who sneaks in. But I reckon it could go down to the last day of the season with 3 or 4, possibly even all 5 of them. I think Spurs will drop out, but I think maybe between West Ham, Leicester, Chelsea, and Liverpool, I think that has serious potential to go to the final day.
It does. I think it's going to be class.
Super Sunday, unbelievable. We'd have to somehow find a way to watch Jeff and the boys. Yeah.
Oh yeah, mate. We definitely need to find. If that happens, we need to find a way to do that, man. That would be class. But right, I've added up all the points. Do you want to go through it and see what we've got for 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, and whatever we've got? So, all right. So based off the points that we've given these teams, we have finishing in 3rd place on 72 points would be the Hammers, West Ham. We reckon West Ham are finishing 3rd on 72 points. Hell. Maybe a biased podcast, but who knows? Finishing 4th, 2 points behind them is Chelsea on 70 points. So I mean that finishes the top 4. After that, we have Liverpool finishing 5th on 66. You then have Leicester finishing 6th, a point behind them on 65. And that would leave Spurs finishing 7th on 60 points. I don't actually think that's a bad shout, lads. If West Ham keep up the form.
Come on, you Irons.
Fucking right.
Wait, use up your fucking dreamland, man. 3rd.
As a West Ham fan, that's exactly how I would have predicted it before doing points scoring. Because I can see, fucking hell, it's just ridiculous. You look at that and you say Chelsea, Liverpool, 3rd and 4th. The other 3 will drop out. But like Matthew's touched on with form, you can't see West Ham dropping out of it now.
No,
which is crazy, which is absolutely crazy. But for me, it would be an absolute letdown if it finishes Man City, Man United, Chelsea, Liverpool, because that just highlights that the big 4 are still the big fucking 4.
It definitely would be a letdown for me, AJ, man. I'll fucking take that.
But it's so hard, and that's why the Premier League's so amazing, because we're all sitting here as super fans, like boys that follow the Premier League religiously, and we've not got a Scooby-Doo what's going to happen.
Not got an absolute.
I'm gonna watch this back, like when it goes in. I'm gonna watch this back and probably piss myself.
Oh, listen, mate.
West Ham finished 7th on fucking 55 points.
I know, man. Fucking Leicester finished 2nd or something, man. About a title challenge at the end of the season. Who knows? But no, I think I think that's fair. I think we went through it relatively fair. I think we went through it quite thorough. I think we were fairly honest about it. I mean, we'll see. We'll either look like absolute mugs or we'll look like geniuses. So it's going to go one of 2 ways. Once it's on the internet, there's no going back either. So that's it.
That's fine. I'm sound with that.
That's it.
There's all sorts of celebrations if West Ham United finish third in the league.
Yeah.
I'm telling you that.
Oh yeah, AJ's out for the weekend. You will not see him. Out Friday, home Monday.
I'll be out until the Euros, until Scotland lets down.
Oh man, we'll definitely. I will definitely get a couple of Scotland pods on the go, like in the Euros. Hopefully, we're not been too shite, but we'll definitely get a couple of those. But no, I think that's good, boys. I think we've covered everything. I think it was good. A lot of good chatting there. I don't know if you have got anything you want to add before we wrap up, but I'm pretty happy with it.
Nah, I'm sound.
No, I've bummed up West Ham enough, I think. I don't want to do too much.
That's it. Bummed up West Ham, and unfortunately had to just admit that Liverpool have been absolutely pissed this year, and God knows what's going to happen. Well, listen, in Jurgen we trust, lads. In Jurgen we trust. Next year we'll be back, but that's it. We'll wrap it up. We'll stay on for a couple of minutes and chat. But AJ, thanks again, man. Like I say, we'll do one again. We'll do one about Scotland, or maybe even towards the end when it's a tight battle. If West Ham are in the mix, and fuck it. Weather's gonna be nice, so we'll enjoy the weekend.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Cheers, boys.
Cheers.